Welcome to the 10th Annual Beacon Awards. Each year, Shore Publishing's Beacon Awards recognizes a few of the outstanding individuals who selflessly help fulfill the Shoreline's promise as a place of opportunity, well-being, and safety for all. We've received hundreds of nominations from readers eager to share stories of friends, neighbors, and family members who best embody the spirit of the community. From that deep pool of inspiring stories, we've selected these 15 exceptional citizens who serve as beacons of the community. Let's meet your 2022 Beacon Award honorees. Laura Burban, Brantford.
It all started when I was young, knowing that animals had such a huge impact on me, and I knew just as a child that eventually I would go into working with animals. I had the love of animals and I had more of a business background, and I knew once I got there that we needed more funding. I started talking to just lots of community members, and I talked to a lot of people who were in leadership positions within the community and said this is the example of what we'd like to set, and started things like animal camp and reading to the animals and wolf stock and all that kind of stuff. We have a really amazing crew who's worked with the animal shelter for many, many years, but we have so many people who work with us and for us that have really helped to develop where we're going in the future. And, none of this is possible without them. I think people started following us on social media and started seeing the different things between camp and reading to the animals, and then Hope, the dog that was left. And we just continue to gain a following. And we have people that watch us from Texas and California and Italy, and they just message us and they send us donations, and they really seem to care about the work that we're doing, and they appreciate the follow-up. They appreciate, the stories that we put after the fact. A lot of times we get the updates from the people who adopt, so we'll know kind of where these animals have ended up. And I think that helps people see from the beginning to the end what happens with these creatures when they donate and support us. So I think that's really helped us too in building, where we're going for the future for the new building as well.
Pamela Cyrus, Elizabeth Loud, Clinton.
We actually founded our own nonprofit organization called Bare Necessities Incorporated. We both devote all of our time to that organization, and our purpose of that organization is to distribute diapers and wipes to families in need, and we do that through various food banks, social services, community services, and churches around the shoreline. When we first moved to Clinton, and we were going past where the food pantry is, and it was around 5 o'clock in the evening, we saw this huge line waiting around the corner of the church to get in. We started providing pizza every now and then. We'd go with pizza, we'd go with drinks, and we'd feed them while they were in line for the food pantry. And that's actually how the root of Bare Necessities got started, because Beth was there one day doing one of her pizza dinners, and a young mother came up to her and asked where she could get diapers.
This is a need in our community. So 1 in 3 babies have a diaper need in the country and in Connecticut. So we know we need to have this going forward. We went from helping 5 families in 2015 to 545 families now. Since we have, so many families, we want to be able to grow as the community grows.
Billy DiCrosta, East Haven.
2015, we opened our official academy in East Haven, Connecticut at 597 Main Street with just 2 little rooms. Flash forward now to 2022, and we have 7 staff members. 5 of those staff members are voice teachers. So throughout this process, we've sponsored over 200 kids since 2015, and we want to obviously continue to sponsor more. But then when we decided to open the nonprofit, part of the reason we did that as well is because we wanted to be able to bring the community more into what we do. Right now it's always parents come to see their kids, you only do a show with us if you're a student in our school. We need to expand that. We're closing everybody off by doing that. So with the theater opening now, that affords us the opportunity to say, okay, well now we can have a community program as well. And part of our mission for that community program is not just theater, but it's mental health awareness through theater education, because so many of the kids that we see coming in and out the doors, and adults, because we have adult students as well, suffer from mental health issues, especially since COVID. So if we can help people live a better life through theater and find a different avenue to do that and be able to do it on a volunteer basis, that's even better.
Neil Fuentes, East Haven.
We created an academy where we teach singing and dancing and acting and all forms of performing arts. And part of that company that we have a scholarship program. And that scholarship program is bringing education in the arts for children who otherwise could not afford it, could not go to a school and want to learn piano and want to learn acting or trumpet or whatever they want. So for the past 7 years, Billy and I have probably volunteered to help over 200 children now that have been able to learn and been able to get into this wonderful life of the entertainment. We just built a theater in our school, and now we just also created Broadway on Main, which is a non-profit theater company that's going to be specifically dedicated to helping children and adults with mental health problems, and also LGBTQ and all type of cultures. We're trying to bring culture from other countries into our community so people see how colorful the world can be.
Joe Genua, Branford.
The thing is when I first retired, I was trying to figure out what to do. And so I tried different paths. I mean, I volunteered for VITA, which is volunteer income tax. I volunteered for the Schubert. Also in the community dining room and food pantry as well. I still volunteered in the food pantry. I'm currently a volunteer not only for the Friends of the Blackstone Library, which I do a tremendous amount of work there. That's my biggest focus. But I also still have my fingers not only in the food pantry, but the Volunteer Services Center itself. And also recently I'm working with, it's another nonprofit. It's called Friends of Connecticut Libraries. It's more of a statewide association for all the friends in Connecticut. We were able to donate to the library over $130,000. So the library itself can provide new programs and other services to the community. So I mean, I think that's wonderful. I mean, I think this year we have books coming out of our ears now. I mean, we have a ton of books. I'm guessing well over 70,000 pieces. The items, I talk about items because we have not only just books, but we have audio, video, DVDs, vinyl, and of course all the children's books. I mean, we have plenty of children's books this year.
Timothy Haut, Deep River.
Well, I am the minister of the Congregational Church, which is not a volunteer organization, although a lot of the things that I do in this community come out of that. Rotary Club, over 3 times I was president and been the vice president of the Scandinavian Society. I'm the chaplain of the volunteer fire department. I've been active in the community in a bunch of other ways, Juvenile Review Board, Youth Service Bureau. This is a few of the things. I've been in Deep River for 42 years. More recently, the Rotary Club has been involved with a garden club and developing a town park. We do scholarship programs for kids going off to college and for other things that are important in terms of developing their presence in the communities around us. The thing is, in my position, I say that my job is to be arms for people. I'm arms for people when they bring their babies to be baptized. I'm arms for people that are going through difficult times in their life. I'm arms at the most terrible, dark times in people's lives. I think all of those things are important.
Jane Leamon, North Haven.
So I founded and was president of the North Haven Leo Club, an extension of the Lions Club, and it's a youth community service organization. We've got 20 members. We're in North Haven, and we basically, I go to 2 schools. I go to North Haven High School and ECA, and I wanted to create opportunities for kids who might not have the chance to go to like a traditional school club. We're also made up of high schoolers and middle schoolers, and it is entirely youth-based leadership. We are all given the opportunity to have leadership roles and to do what we want and do what we're passionate about in the club. So I'm definitely going to continue to do stuff for my community. That might come in a lot of different forms. Just something that's always been a part of my life, and it's something that I value very much as a part of my person and as something morally correct. So I think it will always just be something I do.
Gary McCauley, Old Saybrook.
ago, I retired, and so I was looking for something, and one of my neighbors was a Rotarian, and he'd been asking me to join, and I said, I can't join anything until I have the time. So I joined, and a great group in Old Saybrook. We represent Westbrook and Lyme, Old Lyme. So I did 2.5 years as president. We continue to do the things we normally do, which would be high school scholarships to Westbrook, Lyme, Old Lyme, and Old Saybrook. This year we did $30,000. We also do a third grade dictionary program. Every third grader in the 3 towns, including the private schools, get a dictionary. But then we did some outreach. We partnered with the district of Rotary. There was grant money available, so we wrote a grant, and we gave $7,000 in PPE, which is personal protective equipment, to the 3 towns. One of the Rotarians in the state donated over 1 million paper masks, distributed those. We also took our money and matched it with some restaurants who worked with us, and we gave $7,000 in restaurant gift cards away through social services. We are currently working with the town of Old Saybrook on a transfer station project. You know, those kinds of projects that we try to get involved with that are helping the community in general. It's not just giving money away or raising money, but it's finding something where we can put our expertise and our effort into.
Mike Neff, Clinton.
I'm the deputy chief of the fire department in Clinton. Basically, I handle the operations side of the department under Chief Brian Manware, and we just respond to calls and needs of the community and help out wherever we can. The fire side is all volunteer. We still consider ourselves professional firefighters. We just aren't what we would call career, so we don't get a paycheck for it, but we still are held to the same standards, both federally and locally, and still have to provide the same services that a career department would provide its community. I was 15 or 16. I joined in the junior division, and they take kids at a younger age. They bring you into the service. They start, providing some levels of training just so that you can get ahead and develop the interest and really kind of see if it's something that you like to do or want to continue. I continued to work my way up the ranks throughout, the years up until where I am now as the deputy chief.
Andrea Panullo, Madison.
For 17 years, I owned a business in town called Bella Perlina. Everything started by Bella Perlina. Bella Perlina was the hub for fundraisers. I was always involved with Raise the Roof by donating a piece of jewelry or having a fundraiser at my shop. I've had a gazillion fundraisers at Bella Perlina over the years. And then once I retired, that was on my bucket list to become more involved with Raise the Roof, and then they asked me to be a board member. Raise the Roof is an organization. It is the shoreline part of Habitat for Humanity, and we actually build homes for families. Night in Hand was one of my first things when my children were young. I chaired it, and then I always had events at the store to raise money for Night in Hand. So Camp Rising Sun, Mary Stryker, who has Junk to Junk behind me, daughter is an oncology nurse and is very active with Camp Rising Sun. And then one of my customers, Melissa, is a past childhood cancer survivor and very active in Camp Rising Sun. Got very involved with Iris this year. I helped an Afghan refugee, and she lived with us since Thanksgiving. She was 23 years old and came here alone. And so now I am volunteering over at Iris, too.
Kristen Russo, Brantford.
I've been volunteering for the Community Dining Room in Brantford, which is a wonderful organization that provides food stability to people in the area. I was delivering meals, and then I began working in the kitchen, which I really liked. I also organized the Short Beach Stroll, which was a wonderful benefit. We raised over $5,000 for UNICEF that was earmarked to help the children involved in the Ukrainian conflict. I'm an active member of the Brantford Buy Nothing group, where I help people find the things that they need at no cost. Anything from baby items to linens to clothes to diapers. So that's been a really fulfilling experience as well. I also organized a personal care drive around Christmas time. The Buy Nothing group in Brantford helped contribute to that immensely, and also the wonderful Brantford Bitches group. We compiled at least 100 personal care bags for distribution, in addition to extra toiletries and cosmetics and things like that. But I hope to at least do one thing per season. I want to continue, and I want to get the kids involved too at school with their own. It doesn't have to be my work or my interests, but I'd like for each of them to kind of begin their own journey of giving back.
Valerie Votto, Guilford.
Now I am board chair for Habitat for Humanity of Middlesex County, and I did find that Sarah Bird was the one who sent my name in. I got involved in that organization in a very strange way. Honestly, I was invited to a fundraiser, and while I was at the fundraiser, I bumped into some people that I knew, and I was talking with them, and I said, gee, if you ever need any help, like sort of just running one of these or just helping, I'll be more than happy to help you. And I actually knew them from work. I was professional standards counsel for the New Haven Middlesex Board of Realtors, so the people that I knew there were affiliated with that organization, so I'm talking to them and just figured I'll volunteer. But I also was already sitting on certain committees in the state and things that made it all kind of work and gel. But the other one was, I'm vice chair of the Guilford Fund, which again had a real estate component associated with it. I came to a meeting, I figured, yeah, okay, this might be all right. And then all of a sudden, one day I woke up and they said, you're vice chair. And I went, oh. My real volunteer work started at the Junior League of Greater New Haven when I was really young. So I went from Junior League introduced me to Easter Seals. I was part of Center Friends with Easter Seals for a long time. Ended up out in Old Lyme, got involved with Child and Family Services. Ran a lot of their larger events, got involved there. Actually, I just did some additional work out there that I just helped with a startup as part of a fund under the Community Foundation. But I got them all settled and put together. So sometimes work overlaps with what I do.
Ginger Vickstrom, Brantford.
I feed Brantford kids. We feed the children for the weekends. And my role, I started off as a packer. I went on the board and I retired from the board, but I'm still a packer. And last week we gave out 55 bags. That's a lot of bags. That's a lot of families. And that's on top of all that they're doing with the community dining room on the green, which is a wonderful add-on. See, Brantford takes care of their children. Started volunteering at the Historical Society. Last weekend I was a guide for the first time. It's a lot of fun. I love Brantford history. There's certainly a lot of it. I'm all about the kids usually. Oh, my friend Linda got me into the packing with Feed Brantford Kids, and then as we went forward, I learned more and more about it. But the women that pack, that have been there since day one, some of them are 80 years old, and they're still packing. So they truly believe in what they're doing, and boy, they're an inspiration.
We've heard what these honorees do for the community. Now let's hear how that service rewards them.
It's very important. You have to find something that fits your demeanor, your willingness, and so on. We don't want everybody. We just want the people that want to do and want to participate and so on. And we've been fortunate to have that. And along with that comes the spouses and the families. It's that type of thing where it's not just you, it's the extended group that you can bring to the plate.
And you know what? I've got to meet so many nice people around the community in Brantford. And not only, like I said, not just the volunteers, but a lot of the patrons and a lot of the people around the community. It's just wonderful.
The generosity of the people. It's amazing. And I think that the fact that they don't do it for the glory, they do it because they care. That's more important than anything, I think.
The line of work I do, the type of volunteer work I do, creates magic in people. I think my biggest conquest is to be able to sit in a theater and saw a teenager or a child who came to me with a desperate mom who said, I don't know what else to do with this child. And then 2 years later, this child is basically the lead on a musical.
Everyone deep in their hearts of hearts wants to make a difference and wants to be, wants to do good things. So it's amazing how people will come together and will rally around a cause. It's really inspiring.
I love this community. You want this place to be a home for people, and that's part of what it is to be connected to each other, to care about each other. So I hope that sort of my presence is a kind of a model or a guide that says to us, this is the way we want to live in this world.
I would like to thank my parents, who are pretty wonderful, and of course my spouse, who is extremely supportive, and of the members in our community that give without reason, that give without reservation, that give without expecting really anything back.
First, I would like to thank my husband. I also want to thank my friend Linda Kavanagh. I mean, she's been my publicist and my believer since I was for 20 years, and she's still working with me, and she's still helping us to spread the word about the work that we're doing with children. And also, of course, my mom, who passed away a few weeks ago, and she was a firm believer in what we're doing.
My middle school gym teacher, Liz Franco, Carla Stockton, Lou Negri, our friend Gina Helen at Broadway Dance, and most importantly, my mother and father.
And lastly, I just want to thank my family. My wife is super. She's a great help.
My biggest mentor is my daughter, and her name is Christina, because she works for the International Rescue Committee in New York City. And to see the work that she does has inspired me, absolutely.
My mom and the Lions Club. My mom is, she's my biggest supporter. She's just fantastic. She's always been there for me. And the Lions Club has been so fantastic with helping us out and giving us the resources we need to get started.
I want to thank everybody, but I think especially those people who have supported me the most, my wife, my kids. I thank the people in this congregation that give me the opportunity to have the time to do these things, and I'm very grateful for that. And I'm grateful for the fact that this community has volunteered, served me as well. So it was such a nice surprise to see my name come up here, and I thank everyone who makes this possible as well.
Oh, definitely Sarah Bird. I mean, I absolutely positively have to thank her. I was floored because, as I said, I don't think I was doing anything special. And Adrian Price, when he was the one who kept me there. Somebody else brought me in, and he was the one who kept me there. So, they are people I get to see, again, professionally and personally, and it's kind of fun.
I think we have so many people to thank, but I think we have to thank our board of directors, all of the volunteers that have helped us out with fundraising and so forth. And I won't mention names because there's so many to name, but also the community foundations, in particular the Community Foundation of Middlesex County, the Westbrook Foundation, the Madison Foundation, the Guilford Foundation. So they've all been very generous to us over the years in helping to support us, as well as all the local businesses that have donated prizes for our various fundraisers or made donations, as well as all the people in the community that have provided us support either with their time or with money, and it's just been great.
Also organized.
Take your time.
Yeah, I'm a fairly serious guy. Jokes don't carry, but
when all this started by being able to cook on television, and some of the funny stories I have from that is going on Chopped and chopping my finger off. That's what. Yes, I was on Chopped, and I literally chopped my finger off.
We have, sometimes we like to ask if there are any funny stories you have that we could include.
Not on camera.
Oh, come on.
That was such a good answer. I laughed out loud.
Unless
We did a wonderful organization.
We're just gonna have you go.
Sorry.
Oh my, should we do something about the phone that's ringing?
Throw it, it's mine.
Is it yours?
Oh, that reminds me to make sure mine's on silent. Mine's on silent. That's a reminder for me. I'm sorry, I should have told you that.
Cut it out, I'm
Do you have
sorry.
to answer it, please, too?
I don't want to answer it.
Oh, okay. Well, you can check and see if it's important. No problem.
No.
Okay.
It's my hairdresser
that's always important.
telling me I have an appointment tomorrow.
Thank you.
There you go.
They need you. We didn't give you an opportunity to say.
If you turn me on, I don't shut up, so it's fine.
Is there an off switch?
There's no off switch. There's no office. My mother used to say, "Put the quarter in you," and I was like, "Shut up."
Or
You have some good outtakes of you. You're going to be a hit.
Well, Feed Branford Kids, that was my friend Linda who told me that.
That one might be an important one.
What? This thing won't. Because they know I'm busy. There we go.
You know, at that time, it was a different world. It was 37 years ago. I was 5. Please remember, practicing law at 5. Just remember that. At any rate.